Welcome to a new module in our series, and today we're going to be having a look at delegation. Effective leaders get things done through other people. And according to Ephesians 4:11, one of our roles as Christian leaders is to equip and mobilize people to do what they're called and gifted to do. A practical way in which we do this is through delegation. However, a leader's goal in delegating is not just to accomplish a task or role, but to develop the person and their gifting. Every leader has limitations to their skills, capacity, and time. A team leader cannot do everything themselves. If a leader tries to do everything themselves, they become unnecessarily burdened, their performance and health deteriorates, they fail to develop their leaders and staff, and in time, the church or ministry will suffer. A key to multiply the effectiveness and scope of a leader's ministry is delegation. A biblical example of this is Moses. When the burden became overwhelming for Moses, his father-in-law Jethro took him aside and gave him timeless wisdom. Essentially, Jethro advised him to delegate lesser responsibilities to tiers of leaders to assist him adjudicating and facilitating the collective life of the people. Jethro encouraged Moses that the raising up of leaders, judges, will make his load lighter because the other leaders will share it and he'll be able to stand the strain. Importantly, Moses listened to his father-in-law and did everything he said. He was then able to focus on the bigger picture and fulfill the responsibilities he alone could do, represent the people before God and teach them how to live as the covenant people of God. Likewise, Jesus had a clear and compelling sense of mission. He knew what the Father had sent him to do. He called 12 young men to be his disciples, to accompany him and be trained in mission. In time, Jesus sent the 12 out in pairs to practice what they had learned from his example and teaching. He empowered them with authority and gave them specific instructions to do ministry for themselves. On their return, they told Jesus everything they had done. He listened to the reports from their ministry trips, answered their questions, brought clarity and correction when necessary, and in this way developed his team to continue his mission after his suffering, death, resurrection, and ascension. Nearing the end of his ministry, Jesus chose 72 other disciples, sending them in pairs to the towns and places he had planned to visit on his next circuit. And as he had done with the 12, he gave them detailed instructions for specific situations. They too returned and joyfully reported that even evil spirits were subject to them. Now, against that biblical backdrop, let's now suggest a definition of delegation. Delegation is the empowering of others through training, equipping, and investing authority to carry out set tasks, roles, or responsibilities. It is the giving of responsibility to somebody else, the assigning of some power, responsibility, or work. And here is a brief list of the benefits of delegation. A leader's efficiency and effectiveness can be multiplied. A team can accomplish more. People become involved and develop a sense of ownership of the vision. People are mobilized for ministry and begin to fulfill their potential. People's lives and gifts are developed. The team leader can then focus on the important big picture tasks. But let me now provide some practical steps in delegation. Number one, clearly define the task, role, or responsibility we need to delegate. A first step in delegation is for a team leader to clarify in their own mind or for the decision-making group the task, role, or responsibility to be delegated. We need to think it through so that it can be defined and outlined and explained clearly. For example, be able to provide the details of the expected results or outcomes, how the task may be approached, subtasks within the overall task, the limits of authority, the necessary timelines, how you will know the task is done, what resources will be required, what training may be necessary. It's important for the team leader to fully understand the task, role, or responsibility so they can adequately explain it to the appropriate person. Number 2, select the right person for the right task, role, or responsibility. A second step in delegation is to prayerfully, consultatively, and thoughtfully select the right leader for the right task based on their competencies, character, and qualities. Let's firstly have a look at competencies. Look for a person whose competencies correspond with the task, role, or responsibility. Ideally, the person we choose should have the ability, knowledge, skills, enthusiasm, gifting, and time needed to get the job done, or they have a sincere desire and capacity to learn. As part of the selection process, seek to answer some helpful questions. Does this person have a gift and skills consistent with the task? Does this person have a gift of leadership or the potential to lead? Does this person evidence the spiritual maturity, Christ-likeness necessary to be a Christian leader? B, the preeminent quality, character. Importantly, they should have the one qualifying quality for anyone serving in Christian leadership, godly character. And C, personal leadership qualities. In addition to their competencies and character, here are some other qualities to look for in people being considered for a role. Teachability, their openness and willingness to learn and change. Faithfulness, proven commitment to the local church. Relational, they can get on with people. Shared doctrinal values and philosophical views on the church. Choosing the right person is crucial. It is relatively easy to appoint a leader, but particularly awkward and potentially disruptive to remove a wrong choice. Collateral damage is a term the military use to describe civilian casualties which have been unintentionally injured or killed during an operation. Whenever a wrong or an underperforming leader is removed, there is the spiritual equivalent of collateral damage. Therefore, it is better to make the decision slowly, without procrastination, by exercising a prayerful attitude, by consulting with other senior leaders in the church, such as eldership boards or decision makers, and by applying due process. Number 3, define the borders of authority and responsibility. A third step in delegation is to establish the scope of their authority and clearly define their responsibilities. In simple terms, they should know exactly what they're supposed to do, who they relate to about what, and what authority they have. Now, ideally, it should be written on one page in simple, easy to understand language and detail the following: expectations and requirements, including character and behavioral standards, specific details of their responsibilities, accountability, who they are responsible to and for, communication lines, who they relate to about what, organizational structure, how to relate to everyone else involved, up, down, and sideways. Detailing and defining the borders of authority and responsibility before appointing the leader will help you to explain it to them and for them to understand as best they can before they actually carry out their delegated responsibility. And if it's written and explained, there is a less likely chance of ignorance, frustration, and unnecessary problems. In addition, it is against this document, their written requirements, that the leader's effectiveness, performance, and conduct can be measured. Number 4, conduct a thorough briefing. A fourth step in delegation is to set aside adequate time with the person in private to clearly communicate their tasks and responsibilities. As a first step in the briefing, the team leader would go through the document from point 3, detailing and defining their authority and responsibility. In addition, depending on the task or responsibility, the following things would need to be covered and communicated in the briefing: the scope of the task, specific results to be achieved, the time schedule and deadlines, the available resources, authority needed to carry out the role, how the performance will be measured, sensitive or risky aspects of the task, reporting procedures, who's who and who does what in the church or ministry, and your confidence in the person. Seek and encourage questions to eliminate any potential confusion or ambiguity. Ensure people know what's expected of them and who they relate to about what. And that's it for part 1. And next time we'll continue to work through the 10 steps of delegation. See you then. God bless.